Okay, so I would like to welcome you all to the last session of MUN Personal Development Summit. And our last session is also really crucial. Our topic is the role of advisors in online MUNs. And VEDAT KIYMAZARSLAN teacher will describe us. Let me introduce himself to you. VEDAT KIYMAZARSLAN is a retired colonel at the Turkish Armed Forces with more than 3 decades of active service as an EFL teacher, ELT specialist, and applied linguist. He holds a BA and MA from Gazi University in teaching English as a foreign language and an MA in educational management and supervision. He has been to the USA as a teacher, trained at Defense Language Institute in San Antonio, Texas, and Fluency Fast Language Schools in Denver, Colorado. In addition, he has attended several MA and PhD courses at Hacettepe University, Statistics, Translation Problems, Educational Linguistics, and Materials Development in Foreign Language Education. His interests includes psycholinguistics, comparison-based language learning and teaching, designing and developing e-learning and e-teaching apps, English for specific purposes, lexicology, computational linguistics, L2 classroom management techniques, and reading about international relations, military history, and MUN. He is currently teaching English at private Kent High School in Izmir and serving as the head of Department of Foreign Languages. As the founder of the Kent MUN Club, he strongly believes that MUN conferences may facilitate successfully second language execution and mean killing hundreds of birds with one stone. So, stage is yours, Vedat teacher.
Thank you very much for this introduction. Dear advisors, teachers, educators, first of all, I would like to share my screen with you, then I will start my speech. And my screen, because I don't have the privilege probably.
Yes, I'm so sorry, I just made you co-host.
Thank you. Yes, dear students, dear friends, dear teachers, educators, directors, moderators, and coaches, and colleagues. It's my honor and utmost pleasure to have the privilege to be with you, to address you here in this virtual context, and to be a part of the MUN Summit organized by MUNTurkeycom. It's my pleasure to see you all here today. Yes, this is a very crucial issue, dear friends. Ayşe Candaş teacher shared most of the information which is valuable in the previous session, but this is another dimension. The common view is that the role of leading an MUN team or club without having prior experience or background in MUN. This is normal and true because we had technologies and opportunities in the past, which was very little. So we didn't have any chance to have access to some technologies. But I'm sure if we had more sophisticated tools in the past, say chances to attend MUN or use the internet, this much, we would have surely attended and been much better and gone beyond that probably. Well, today, thanks to the coronavirus pandemic, we have more to say. Online MUNs, and when we add online restrictions and difficulties, dear friends, the crisis for us advisors doubles up. We can use our time more efficiently and understand MUN more if we wish to instill power and faith in our prospective delegates. It's a must. And one initial reminder before I start at the beginning of my presentation. During my presentation, I may use these words. I mean advisors, colleagues, directors, moderators, mentors, facilitators, and similar words interchangeably. As I see, there is no hierarchical difference among them, in my opinion, because our ultimate aim is to help our prospective delegates perform better, and to help them perform better at the end. For simplicity, I will use the word advisor during the rest of my speech. I would like to start with two basic questions. What's the challenge? What's the challenge? Yes, attending Model UN conferences can be a big challenge for our students. Preparing our students to attend MUN conferences is a challenge, especially if you have never done an MUN conference or participated in an MUN conference. That may be a real trouble and difficult for you. And this big challenge may be a real challenge for advisors as well. Preparing our delegates for an online MUN can become more unmanageable because we have to prepare our delegates from afar, from a distance. We should consider some strategies to help our delegates, students, cope with the stress and intricacies of the activity. Let's start with these two basic questions I mentioned. At the outset, let's direct these two questions, which are very crucial. One, what does a Model UN advisor do? The answer to this question was given by our teacher in the previous session, actually. Thanks to her, we learned a lot from the roles. And the second crucial question is, what does an online Model UN advisor do? Let's try to answer these questions, dear friends. Answer to the first question is, an advisor studies the conference's websites and figure out how to register to attend. And he or she learns new Model UN vocabulary and tries to understand the best way to prepare her or his students. Then he or she learns how MUN conferences are designed and held. And of course, it's important to understand and guide students' motivational needs, dilemmas, or quandaries during conferences. As for the second question, what does a online Model UN advisor do? You may think there is no difference. Actually, there's only one word difference online, okay? But we have more to that. Let's see. He studies the online conferences websites and figure out how to register to attend. He or she learns new Model UN vocabulary and tries to understand the best way to prepare for his students online. He or she learns how online MUN conferences are designed and held. And finally, he understands and guides students' motivational needs, dilemmas, or quandaries during online conferences. Yes, only the red ones are different here in this explanation, in this answer, but we have more, actually. The answers match totally and perfectly. Yes, that was the answer to the first question. What does a Model UN advisor do? And this is the answer given to the second one. As you see, we see they match totally, perfectly. We need to actually add a few words to help us know more about these online conferences, such as distance, the word distance, from a distance. We can even produce some new expressions such as distant assistance assistants, or distant coach, or virtual advisors. But not finished. There is more to that. Well, we can use a new term, the new reality impacts, particularly after the during this coronavirus pandemic. We need to develop some new habits, behaviors, and the basic skills actually require for MUN presentation, persuasion, negotiation, and resolution writing remain the same. However, the priorities change it to a small extent. Advisors, therefore, should inform their delegates in accordance with the new reality impacts, such as technological and behavioral limitations. Let's see what these limitations, restrictions are. Well, as you see, we have a photo here, and it's split apart, and we have the word internet just between them. So this is the online reality, virtual reality. So we have a new type of, delegates, advisors, board members. So we should be able to use these terms very carefully from now on, because thanks to the coronavirus pandemic. And also virtual advisors. We have virtual advisors. Well, the new reality impacts for MUNers and advisors. Before Corona and after Corona, we have new two terms: old features and new features. Let's check them one by one. Public speaking in front of a room full of people in the past. Actually, it's not in the past, but because of the new reality impact, we have to do it in a different way now. We have public speaking skills in front of a microphone and a screen right now. And excellent body language and attractive dress. You can see me in my dress right now, but I may have my flip-flops, and you don't see the other parts of my body right now. And nowadays, we need to have excellent facial expressions. Dress code violations are many, and because you cannot control them. And little or no hardware needed in the past. And now we have words, clear voice, body, gestures, mimics, and your actions, facial expressions are more important than they were in the past. Okay. Then affluent institutions and people could take part in MUN. I mean, rich people or rich institutions could take part in a conference in Siberia or Australia. But now, thanks to the new reality impacts, opportunities for poor connecting people who can travel. Finally, more social events. And in the past, I have a student delegate who took part in many online conferences, but he told me that he didn't have any fun in these online conferences because there were no social events and socials. Less social events, but more online fun get-togethers in this new reality impacts. So we don't know how much fun it is actually. Well, what are the actual roles of the advisors in online MUN then? Online MUN conferences are great opportunities, as I said, for connecting poor people. I use that as a figurative word, actually. Committees of delegates, teams, chairs, and advisors who have little or no opportunity to come together in real life can now work together. That's a bonus, actually. This is their case. What can be said more about the actual roles of advisors then? Actually, you may think there are not so many differences between online and in-person conferences, but we bump into a number of technical and humane restrictions, plus invisibility make it hard, may make online conferences relatively more backbreaking and nerve-wracking to deal with. Before the conference, we have to teach, sorry, I'm talking about the online conferences. Before online conferences, you need to teach your prospective delegates to prepare them for the online conference. Then you need to prepare them academically and mentally. And during the conference, it's important to provide constant feedback and maintain communication, naturally, and provide support and morale. This is very important, to provide support and morale, particularly in this period of coronavirus pandemic. It's of crucial importance. When we look at them one by one, it is important to note that this must be done, all of these things must be done from a distance. But this is not from a social distance, actually. We should make a distinction between social distance and social isolation. We should keep social distance, okay, but social isolation might be dangerous. So new advisors should motivate their delegates around this fact. And also, as you see, the team spirit is very important. Esprit de corps, as a French word, is very important. Now, let's see them very quickly, and I will summarize shortly. Teaching your prospective delegates online is very important. Why is it important? Not together with our delegates, with our club members. As I said, particularly after the coronavirus pandemic, you need to assume new concepts and new strategies, new courses of action. One of them is teaching MUN delegates online. Of course, if you do not have any chance to carry out your sessions at school, just like the way we are experiencing right now, you can do that through the Zoom or other webinar application with this. So as advisors, we should be able to teach the basic MUN terms and phrases online. We should be able to teach our delegates phrases, fixed expressions, and some vital before the conference. If you are a new advisor, you had better give it a try and to make a progress, try to make a progress. For example, this is very important, as one of the official languages of the United Nations is English. Advisors may guide their delegates to stick, should guide actually, not may, must guide their delegates to stick to a mere formality. This is very important. Presenting, introducing information and emotions or points in formal English. We all know this is and must be the essence of all MUN conferences, activities. But sometimes, at times, we hear informal language such as kick the bucket or similar to that. Actually, instead of that, we should use pass away or another formal word. And this would be a total deviation from the MUN concept. So as an online advisor, I highly recommend we use formal English in MUN conferences. Well, the second one, provide the most relevant facts and information about the United Nations and Model United Nations. introduce international and national issues and let them brainstorm, teach your students more sophisticated terms and phrases. Of course, this means that you have already studied these terms and phrases beforehand. And it's also important that your delegates should be willing to get what you advise. Preparing delegates academically and mentally helps students study and practice MUN terms and phrases. It's important. Do research, study, and read their study guides together, online, of course. And help your delegates do their unique and initial research and write their papers. You are only help them and you don't write, by the way. And have them make these preparations on their own. Improve their speaking skills. Have them make online impromptu speeches about any topic of interest. Well, arrange online mock debates before the actual MUN conference. So it's important arranging online mock debates before the actual MUN conferences. These debates will improve your delegates' brainstorming and researching capacity and critical thinking skills, plus public speaking skills. Providing constant feedback and maintaining communication, keeping contact with your students. I will finish. I know there's a time limitation, and use the technology to keep in close contact. Set up a friendly communicative link between you and your delegates, and do not let them feel isolated in a virtual environment, but do not confine them, bore them, or cause them to feel controlled. Let them discover their way and let them have fun. Providing support and morale is important. Don't let your students lose their self-confidence, high motivation, and low anxiety. Stress is stress anywhere. Facilitative stress rather than debilitative one is important. Talk to your students about how to cope with stress during the online MUN. Make motivational speeches to help consolidate knowledge and self-confidence. Look for prompt solutions regarding low morale issues. Yes, so we have 2 or 3 more slides. I will finish soon. Sorry. We need to have 3 golden rules for ultimate success online. Empower your potential leaders. Lead the online Model UN Club. Select well-organized online Model UN conferences and share Model UN resources to your students. So you see the responsibilities you may give to your students here: president, head delegate, secretary general, secretary, and we can also give some sub-roles, responsibilities, extra responsibilities apart from these responsibilities, and treasurer, as you see, and well-organized online Model UN conferences. Look for conferences that will provide your students have better experiences and save you time as advisors. This is true for in-person conferences, valid for in-person conferences as well. As advisors, do not chase after the conference for information and do not let your students complain to you. Ask other advisors for the reputations and quality of online conferences. Well, sharing is important. Share your resources here, dear friends. Even though most advisors have never done Model UN, as I have never done or participated in a Model United Nations conference as a student, but they can contact other advisors, and this way they can leverage other experienced advisors' expertise. The keystone of sharing resources is to hold students' accounts to using them. This will bring them the ultimate success. And finally, have each student teach something from what they have learned. Well, in conclusion, dear friends, on the shoulders of advisors lay a very, very heavy responsibility on these pandemic days. Help your delegates cope with the new reality and normalization process. Make your delegates aware of the benefits and detriments of online conferences. The internet gives us the greatest chance for connection and collaboration. And online MUN conferences are technology-based. Advisors plays a key role. As I said earlier, it seems that online opportunities to do MUN will continue to grow and expand as long as staying at home is important and necessary. The internet gives us the greatest chance, as I say, but MUN conferences might be continuing this way in the following, months or, years. We don't know. And as an applied linguist, as a language teacher, I also do believe that MUN conferences, either offline or in-person conferences, mean killing hundreds or thousands of birds with one stone, because they can help us, they can help our prospective delegates acquire English or any other language better, because they consolidate all the language skills and integrate them with MUN knowledge which reflects world problems and diplomacy matters. This concludes my speech, dear friends. I would be honored to answer any questions you might have. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much for this perfect presentation, VEDAT teacher.
You're welcome.
Actually, we have a question. Like, do you believe in that after pandemic, there will be online conferences?
I think it seems that this pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic, will go on some while. So we need to find ways to make online MUN conferences better and more fun for our prospective delegates.
So thank you very much. That was the end of the summit, but please do not leave. I would like to deliver our founder's speech. Wait a second.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. It was a great pleasure for me to take part in the summit. Thank you very much to everyone involved. Thank you.
So I'd like to deliver special thanks from Anıl İpekçi, who is the founder of MUNTurkeycom. I'd like to offer my special thanks to all speakers and participants of the MUN Summit, which is the first personal development summit specialized for MUN. MUN Summit was organized by support team members of MUNTurkey.com. I sincerely offer my gratitude to each and every one of the team members. Lastly, I would like to offer my special thanks to Azran Rajin, the moderator of all sessions, and Merve Sena İpek, the general coordinator of MUNTurkey.com, for their hard and amazing work. Hope to see you in another event of MUNTurkey.com. So I also would like to thank all our distinguished speakers and all our esteemed participants. It was a great honor for me to be a moderator of this summit and also being a support team member. Also, I shared a link in the chat part. It's about feedback forms. And as most of our speakers said, having feedback is really crucial. So we'll be really appreciate if you fill that form. And also we'll be sending your certificates as soon as possible. So thank you very much for joining us. Have a nice day, have a healthy day.